From the National Hot Rod Association, Championship Drag Racing. The NHRA Winston World Finals. Mike Dunn driving Roland Leong's Hawaiian Punch Special. One of the most severe engine explosions ever in championship drag racing as he nears the finish line at Orange County International Raceway. A puff of oil smoke coming out, and then the engine explosion that demolishes the car. Mike Dunn, encased in the roll cage, takes the ride of his life. The engine explosion blowing the fiberglass body to bits as he crosses the finish line at a speed nearing 200 miles an hour. The car heads for the guardrail. The engine, no longer in the chassis, begins to roll out towards the front wheels. The fire starts again. Dunn hanging on for dear life at this point as the car, having a mind of its own, bouncing like a bucking horse in the shutdown area. The motor getting onto the front wheels, coming out, and now the car starting to turn over and continuing to do a series of snap rolls. Mike Dunn holding onto the steering wheel, trying to keep his arms inside that roll cage as the car finally bounces to a halt. The engine is gone, the body is gone, but Mike Dunn right inside the roll cage where he belongs. The doctors checking him over, and the word is Mike Dunn is A-OK. This is not the first time that Mike Dunn had a crash in 1983. Steve Evans was there as this occurred at the Spring Nationals.
Earlier this very season, Dave, this is Mike Dunn. The throttle stuck, the engine explodes. The Hawaiian Punch car is on fire. There are no brakes. Watch closely. You'll see the right rear tire literally explode, taking off the back half of the body. This is one of the shortest tracks on the circuit, so there is an aircraft carrier-style catch net at the end of the racetrack. I was standing with our cameraman. I knew the net was there, but never dreamed it would stop a rampaging 140-mile-an-hour funny car. As you will see, it did. Incredible. Mike Dunn walks away as he did today here at Orange County International Raceway in qualifying. But for car owner Roland Leong, what an expensive season this has been. So Mike Dunn, fleet of foot, getting away from a car that potentially could still explode. It did not. Dunn is okay, and he's okay here, I emphasize again, Dave.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dave McClelland, along with Steve Evans, and we are at Orange County International Raceway in Irvine, California for the 1983 NHRA Winston World Finals, the final event on this championship drag racing season. And what a season it's been for this man, Gary Beck.
Gary Beck has already clinched the World Championship. Here 2 years ago, you see him win the event title. The World Championship that year narrowly escaped him. On this run, he set a world record. That is Dwight Salisbury, his opponent, going up in a ball of flame. Dwight was okay. Beck won the event title with a then world record of 5:54. He has reset the world record in qualifying here at the Winston World Finals at a landmark 5:39.
We're in the first round of competition, and one of the cars, the Bill Carter entry, is having problems getting started. The crew, headed by Jim Brissett, working on it. His competition's running.
His competition, Dave, is having no problems at all. Ray Stutz, a young fireman from Pomona, California. This is the car owner for Bill Carter, the actor Dan Haggerty. You may know him better as Grizzly Adams, and he is just fidgeting. And they've got the car started, Dave. They are going to race.
Running, but Ray Stutz has already completed his burnout, and I am certain that the effort by Bill Carter will come immediately. That's right. Starter Buster Couch waves him to the starting line. pushes the crew out of the way and says, sorry about the burnout, guys, you got to race.
This could really hurt Bill Carter in the near line. The lack of that smoky burnout over the starting line. Let's see, Ray Stutz in the far lane. It is Stutz away first cleanly by at least a car length. Ray Stutz driving away from Bill Carter, who still made a race out of it, even without the burnout. That is the ride of Ray Stutz's life. At 560, 238 miles an hour, the young fireman having his best day of championship drag racing.
And the incredible thing, Steve, is on the Grizzly Adams car, the Dan Haggerty entry with Bill Carter, he didn't have a burnout, and he still ran 577, never smoked a tire at over 230. Tire smoking it is on the burnout, though.
This is Richard Tharp, the flamboyant professional driver from Dallas, Texas. His competition here is Dwight Salisbury, who we just saw 2 years ago in the final round against Gary Beck in that ball of flame. Richard Tharp, the Cannell and Kilpatrick entry out of Killeen, Texas. No finer race car on the grounds.
Tharp has won one national event thus far this season and would love to add this Winston World Finals title to his credit. Driving the Whiting and Markley entry, R. Gaines Markley was the owner and crew chief a few years ago when Rob Bruins won the Winston World Champions title, but now Dwight Salisbury, one of the best drivers on the West Coast, at the wheel of the top fuel dragster of Whiting and Markley.
Richard Tharp, who took a vacation the 1982 season, came back in 83 and is one of the few drivers to have out-qualified Gary Beck anywhere along the circuit this year. Tharp in the near line, Dwight Salisbury Farley. Salisbury, as he always is, out first, but Richard Tharp has the performance, and Richard Tharp drives around Salisbury for the win.
5:66 is elapsed time at over 238 miles an hour, a very creditable 5:75 elapsed time for Dwight Salisbury, and his speed closing fast at over 244 miles an hour.
The first lady of motorsports in the near lane, the bright pink Pioneer stereo car of Shirley Muldowney. And her competition will be a farmer from Central California, Danny Donnell.
And Danny Donnell just exploded the supercharger on the starting line. He pulls off to the right-hand side of the track up along the guardrail in case something may be leaking out of the car. He's trying to keep any liquids off the racing surface. But on his burnout, it was Danny Donnell exploding a supercharger. And he's been having trouble like this as of late for the last several races with the superchargers exploding.
Yeah, he sure has, Dave, and that's about a $2,500 explosion. Shirley Muldowney backing up after her burnout, concentrating on her son John as he brings her back on those hot, fresh tracks she herself laid down. Now, Shirley has the option of taking the easy, just idling it down the racetrack to save her equipment, but I will bet anything, Dave, she does not do that. She wants lane choice. The following round, the quicker car from the preceding round has lane choice, and Shirley would also like to check the racetrack. The three-time world champion wearing the number 1 on the wing, but she will have to give that to Gary Beck. At the conclusion of this event, he comes in here already the world champ. Shirley Muldowney, round 1, with a gift race from Danny Donnell. Shirley Muldowney on a hard pass.
The elapsed time, 5.60, an excellent elapsed time. She qualified third in this field. Her speed over 244 miles an hour. Her qualifying time was a 5:56, so she's very close in competition. The Donnell team dejectedly looking over their supercharger as Shirley pulls off the track. Here we watch again as Danny Donnell comes out of the water area, which provides a chance for those tires to get spinning without using up a lot of strain on the engine.
Watch the supercharger. You see the fuel injector on top of the motor. It's bolted to the blower. There's a bit of a fire, and bang, out the back of the manifold comes the explosion. Probably, David, hung an intake valve.
Our next pair of cars, the engine's already lit, and this is Larry Miner, the car owner of Gary Beck's car. He is the number 2 qualifier in this field, right behind Gary Beck. So the Miner team is certainly making their presence felt here at the Winston World Finals. His competition, Gary Ormsby. He started on the national event trail about the middle of the season, has been very competitive, and Larry Miner's got his work cut out for him. Even though he's the number 2 qualifier, he's still got to beat Ormsby to advance in competition.
In his rookie season, Larry Miner won the Cajun Nationals mid-season in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with the wheels in the air, but a little too much horsepower as Larry Miner. He smokes the tires, and the car dealer from Sacramento, California, Gary Ormsby, is victorious here in round 1.
We said he was competitive, 5.62 seconds at over 238 miles an hour. The tire smoke, the wheel stand, Larry Miner going out at a 5.92, a losing effort for the number 2 qualifier here at the Winston World Finals.
So Gary Ormsby, who's been racing for some 20 years, goes into round 2, and here is the man. the new world champion, Gary Beck, who owns the quickest 16 elapsed times ever recorded. We just saw the Team B car, his car owner, go out of action, so all of Larry Minor's hopes now rest on number 1 GB.
He is the number 1 qualifier with a record-setting 5.39 second elapsed time. Gary Ormsby advancing into round number 2. Gary Beck concentrating on the thought of defeating Denver Schutz. The Raisin Farmer teamed up with Mark Danikus. The car called the Raisin Express, wiping down those huge slicks, trying to get the most traction available. For Denver Schutz, he qualified in the number 9 spot with a 5.68, almost 0.3 of a second difference, and look at Gary Beck go.
Gone like a rifle shot is Gary Beck, and there it is. Low elapsed time of the first round, close to his record. It is a 5.43 at the fastest speed Gary Beck has ever recorded, a personal best of 257 miles an hour. Awesome.
You know what's incredible, Steve? Denver Schutz ran a 5.88, and he was back at least 5 car lengths or more behind at the finish line. That's got to be depressing.
Now here is a guy that gave Gary Beck a run for his money in this World Championship. He won 3 events in the 83 season, Joe Amato from Old Forge, Pennsylvania.
Joe qualified in the number 4 spot with a fine 5.59, and Amato is up against another man that has been in the thick of the chase, and that is Jody Smart. Jody had his qualifying problems here, only making it into the number 12 spot. But Jody Smart from San Antonio, Texas, is capable of beating any driver anytime.
Through consistency, Jody Smart came into this Winston World Finals number 2 in points. Joe Amato number 3. In fact, this season, Jody Smart finally won his first NHRA championship race after so many years of trying, the Mile High Nationals in Denver, Colorado.
Steve, he has been a bridesmaid on that winner's circle for so long, I guess he probably thought he was jinxed.
Jerry Amato straightening her hair on the starting line, you know. TV cameras are on.
Her husband, Joe Amato, moving up through the ranks, first with an alcohol dragster, now in the thick of the top fuel chase, Joe Amato and Jody Smart.
Jody Smart's car just did not launch quite hard enough. Joe Amato had the squirt right off the line, and the clock again hits a 5.60 at 249 miles an hour.
Steve, we're seeing times with consistencies in the 5:30s, 40s, and 50s, and even in the 60s that years ago were thought to be impossible to reach.
Yep. Our next pair will be this man, Rocky Epperly, and in the far lane will be the black gold car from Fort Worth, Texas, of Gene Snow, the crafty veteran who many called the father of the funny car when he was professionally racing, a world champion on a couple of occasions. Now races a top fuel dragster strictly for the fun of it.
Steve, we were talking about elapsed times and how quick these cars are racing, but the car in the near lane, Rocky Epperly, has got something to his credit when we talk about going fast.
You bet. He reset the national speed record, one that's held for a long time. It is now at 257 miles an hour by the Frank Taylor-owned Dago Red car, and that's really amazing considering Rocky is a bit of a rookie, has not had that much experience, and it's only about the 3rd or 4th race period for the team. So the engine builder, Darrell Buell, can be very proud of the horsepower he's built. But Gene Snow, look out. He has got so much more experience than Rocky Epperly. Speed records are one thing. It's elapsed times and driving ability that wins drag races.
And the man that gets to the finish line first, and we'll know in just a few seconds whether it'll be Gene Snow or Rocky Epperly. Snow with a tremendous hole shot. And he holds on, but boy, did you see Epperly closing at the finish line. 5.98 for Snow off the pace, a 5.88 for Rocky Epperly.
So Gene Snow gives Rocky Epperly a driving lesson on the starting line. Had Rocky left with him, he'd have beat him by a good car length, no question about it.
Our next pair in top fuel first round, Connie Coletta. The Coletta Flying Services entry out of Ypsilanti, Michigan.
He will be up against in the far lane from Riverside, California, a fellow going into his 2nd season of professional drag racing, Shannon Stewart. Connie Coletta was, I believe, the first to ever go 200 miles an hour, Dave, in official sanctioned competition.
Quite a few years ago, and that was a mark that a lot of people said you couldn't reach in a 1/4 mile standing start race, but look at them now. They're running over 257 miles an hour, and nobody knows where the end is.
Coletta's Flying Service, the sponsor for Connie Coletta, that's his own company. Coletta, a very qualified jet pilot. They leave right together. Shannon Stewart in the far lane, Connie Coletta near lane. One good drag race. It is a genuine upset. Shannon Stewart from Riverside, California at 571, 243 miles an hour. He looks over to see where Coletta is on the racetrack, not wanting a collision at the turnoff. So Shannon Stewart's got to be mighty proud. That's his biggest win light to date. A capacity crowd here at Orange County International Raceway enjoying this first round of Top Fuel Eliminator competition.
And